Good morning. How are you all today? And welcome to Integrative Preparedness, where we approach preparedness with a positive viewpoint, where we approach preparedness as a result of our innate sense of responsibility, of proper responsibility, and not out of fear. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How are you? Grab yourself something to drink. I'm drinking my coffee this morning out of one of my favorite mugs given to me by Parker Kelly and her husband Robert Stonemont. But whatever you drink out of is fine. Hopefully, it's out of something that says Stonemont. It'll taste better. On the back, these were given to me by them at the last gathering, and I just love these things. On the back are the list of my books. There you have it. Uh, you know, every morning I get up and I check the news, and then I put my fingers on the pulse of the preparedness community by watching or at least reading the headlines of some preparedness channels out there. And it's pretty much all the same. Okay, right? Oh, it's terrible, it's horrible, get ready, it's blah, blah, blah. Financial system is crashing, and we're war and this and that and everything else, right? Wars and rumors of wars. Now, I address those things on here. I want to be very honest. By the way, welcome to all the new people. We got just a slew of new people joining here lately, and I think it's because people are getting tired of all this doom and gloom stuff, and they're really wanting you're interested in preparedness, but you don't need to be afraid all the time, right? And you, like us here, you're approaching preparedness out of that proper sense of responsibility. And you're not just in it for the fear porn, and that's why you're here, and it's great to have you. Now, I do, in full honesty, I do touch on the bad things, the horrible things that can happen, but it's only to remind us that, hey, these things are possibilities. Now let's talk about the proper mind frame, from which to come. My daughter and I were talking last night. I was asking her a couple of things. I said, what are you afraid of? What are your big fears? And she said, oh, I think it started with, I don't know what she thought about robots or something. And she said, oh man, that's my second biggest fear. And I said, really? What is your first? And she said, the ocean and deep water. And I said, but you love these movies about these things. He says, yeah, yeah. And that's a great lesson. And there is a psychological term for it, and I've forgotten what it is, that we are attracted to the things we fear. Isn't that weird? Yeah, but it's true. We are tend to be attracted to the things we fear. Now, it's on the normal level. I guess you can kind of understand that because attraction will come by an interest in. If we're afraid of something, we kind of want. Some people want to disregard it. Some people don't want to think anything about it. Some people want to hide their head in the hand. Other people want to understand it more. But whatever the reason for the average normal person is, when it transcends normality into a neurosis and sometimes even a psychosis, it becomes destructive to the person. Okay. I hardly ever, and I talk about, the fear mongers and the fear porn out there a lot, and I tell you, stay away from them. Stay away from them. It is destructive even to watch it. It's destructive to hear. They're not passing on any information. If you want to know what bad happened in the world, just look at the news, okay? But then separate yourself from the emotional attachment to that and say, okay, I've identified the problem or the challenge or the threat. Now I need not to dwell in that, not to be swimming around or splashing in the cesspool of negativity, but I need to address that and decide what I need to do to prepare for it and mitigate it and on, right? Pinball Preparedness had a very good one today. I don't often recommend other channels because I've done it in the past and then later find that I regret it. But Pinball is a smart guy, and I have no fear that I'm going to regret doing this. He had one today, and I watched the whole thing. Very often, I don't watch an entire video of another channel. I just kind of get the gist. It's not that I'm against any or anything like that. I just don't have time. Uh, and it was something about, stop with all the fear porn. Stop. I think it was specifically financial. Stop with all the financial fear porn. And I don't need to get into it here. I've said it many, many times. Every time I tell you you're being, or people, not you, because you know better, right? Every time I tell people, stop listening to these people that telling you everything's collapsing, because it's not, because they're not doing very well, and they want to include you in their negativity, and that's just going to drag you down. And every time I do that, I get a lot of comments, that many of which I dismiss, or get rid of, because they're very misleading. They include a lot of information that's just wrong, and they get their wrong information from a lot of these negative sources. But Pinball, I would suggest you go watch his. Okay, if you're one of those who has been drug in and sucked into this fear of financial collapse and all this kind of stuff, just go watch him. Pinball Preparedness. Okay, and that way I don't have to talk about it again today. Anyway, today. Uh, but how do you approach? How do you approach preparedness? You know the saying, mindset, skill set, tool set, right? Well, it all begins with your mindset. And this is why we approach preparedness from a positive aspect, just like my books, like the Stonemont series. It was about a horrible situation, but the guy that wrote the foreword for the first couple of books said, "Hey, it's an unbelievably positive story about an unbelievably negative experience," and that was an earth destructing CME. That's the way that you should approach these things. Identify the problem, and then say, "Okay, what's my plan?" Plan the work the plan. But how do you approach it? This morning I put up something on the Patreon channel, and I start every day by, well, first I pray, and then I do some devotionals, and then I put up something on our Patreon channel to start the day, and it's usually an inspirational quotation or a scripture or something like that. And if you're not with us on Patreon, I invite you to come over. It's only $1 a month, but it's I put so much stuff over there that I don't put on YouTube. And if you're really, if you're a positive, if you want to be a part of a real community, I invite you to come over there, and that link is down below. Stonemont, our Patreon channel. Well, this morning I put up a verse, and it's Philippians 4:8. Okay, and it is, and many of you are going to be familiar with this. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Okay? Now, did that say, hey, anything that sucks, anything that's bad, anything that's horrible, anything that's depressing, anything that is going to drive you crazy and into a fear hole, think and dwell on those things? No. No, it didn't. Now, did Paul, who wrote Philippians, was he unaware of the bad things in the world? My goodness. I mean, that man went through, hell on earth. There was nobody who understood the evil of the world better than Paul, and had such things done to him. So he understood that. But did he say, if you've been thrown in jail, if you've been shipwrecked, if you've been bitten by a viper, if you've been struck blind, if you've been blah blah blah, think and dwell and just ruin your emotional and mental health over that. Think on those things. Did he do that? No. He said quite the opposite. Many people in preparedness, many people on this channel and many people on other channels And I checked the comments on a channel, another channel. It's really a channel that I go to measure. I'm not going to mention the channel. That's not the point. I go to measure the amount of negativity that is out there in the preparedness world. And one after another, my life sucks. I hate life. Come get me, Jesus. It's just terrible. Things are worse than we thought. It's just, I mean, it is. I, I want to say something, but I'm not going to say it. And that is where I think all of this comes from. But I don't want to make that kind of charge. But it is just, but many of these people who do this consider themselves very religious people. And I know that because how many of them come on and correct me for not calling Jesus Yeshua? Um, I had to give someone a little lesson on that yesterday. Um, stop condemning other people for things. If you are really no, okay, I can't get into that. Stop it. Uh, Understand how your behavior affects other people and what you claim to want. Okay, and if your behavior and your words are off-putting, it's going to drive people away and not bring people in. And if you just want to go around through life trying to show how smart and how much better you are than others and condemn others, you might take a look at that and say, is that helping me or anybody else? Okay, that was just an aside, but I get so much of that. But so many of these people who are so down, they make a great point about how religious they are. They are believers. If you are a believer, where in the Bible did it say for you to be depressed? And even if you're not a believer, this is still to you. Okay. Where does it say that being depressed is going to make your life better or help you make better decisions? I am unaware of any of those scriptures. Let me take a sip and we'll continue. And so are you. It's the old wars or rumors of wars. Now, I mean, I have used that headline on some of mine, but others, it's and I say, hey, these things happen. They've been happening forever. But other channels, news, whatever, wars and rumors of wars. It's never been this bad. It's blah, blah, blah. Okay. Do you know what comes after that? Okay. This was Jesus talking. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. And then what did he say next? But do not be alarmed. So if people are all worried and alarmed, you see, they are doing exactly the opposite of what Jesus said to do. Right? Right. In case you were fumbling for the answer out there. So you have a choice as to what drives your preparedness. Is it fear? And we know where fear comes from because the Bible tells us repeatedly, do not fear. So if you are in fear, where does that come from? Well, it doesn't come from God. It comes from the devil himself. Think about that. Think about that. That is serious. If it doesn't come from God, where does it come from? And it comes from the devil himself. God says, do not fear. So if you are fearful, where is that fear coming from? Okay. This gets to the question. What drives your preparedness? Is it fear, which comes from the devil himself? Or is it God? And let's read this one more time. And for those of you who, this is going on a mug here pretty soon. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, of course, this is Paul talking. Whatever is true. Okay, does that mean whatever is false, whatever is just, a made up whatever? No. Whatever is noble, whatever is right. Did you say whatever's wrong? Nope. Whatever's right. Whatever is pure, whatever is lovely. When was the last time you spent your day really realizing how lovely the world is, how beautiful the world is? But Steve, it's full of horrible things. It's full of sin. It's full of evil. It's full of this. It's full of that. Always has been. Always has been. Always gonna be. And if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're gonna see. If you're looking for what God wants you to look for, this is what you're gonna see. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So the question today is, what drives your preparedness? Because the result of your preparedness efforts is going to be determined by what drives them. Is it fear? Is it fear driven, which means it's Satan driven? Or is it God driven? A preparedness that stems from the proper responsibility God gives each one of us with hope and faith and responsibility. That's where your preparedness should come from. Those of you who have read my books know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, many, even if you haven't read my books, you know what I'm talking about, hopefully. Okay? Those who have read my books, I'll show you my books. For those of you who are new, I know a lot of new people here. I'm the guy that wrote these books, the Stonemont series. The Reversion, the Revival, the Renewal, and Appeal to Heaven, the Blessings of Freedom, Hostages to Fortune, and On Wings Like Eagles. It is a 7-novel set series about a prepared family who, as a result of their preparedness and their faith in God, were not only able to continue living a high-quality life after the collapse of everything, but were able to go out and help other people and then rebuild community and society afterwards. People have told me it is the best book series they have ever read. If you haven't read it, I wish you would. I hope you will. You will learn more about preparedness than you can imagine. You will love the story, and you will see, you will kind of be guided in the proper way to prepare for anything. It doesn't matter what happens to this world, okay? It doesn't matter what happens in the world around us. What matters is where we are. Are we walking with God? No matter what happens to the world, if we're walking with God, we're in the right place. So stop being fearful. Stop following the people who want you to be fearful. This is the story of people who walked with God and did it right. When you do it God's way, you're going to be blessed. Well, anyway, I threw in more sermon in the middle of an ad, didn't I? You can get them a couple of different ways. You can get them either through Amazon, that link's down below, or you can get them a better way, and that's through me. And I love it when you get it directly from me through our website, stonemont.us. That link is down below, because when you do it that way, I sign each one for you, and I write a note in each one for you, and I get them out, and I love that because I see your name, and I write the note to you, and I feel a connection between us. You know, I love my connection with my readers, just like I do my viewers. Now, when you order these through our website, it'll say shipping or 5 to 7 days. Not now. We're getting slaughtered with holiday orders again. We're getting slaughtered. So we're about 3 weeks out. It looks to me like it looks like we're about 3 weeks out as far as you getting them delivered from me. And it's going to take, I don't know how long it'll take Amazon, but you can also, if you do it through me, you can get the whole set as a set, and you can't do that through Amazon. So think about that. You will love them. You'll learn a lot, and it will increase your faith and an understanding and the importance of faith in your preparedness. Okay. So think about, you know, you're here because you're interested in preparedness. Think about first what drives your preparedness and whether that preparedness is God driven. Because if God drives it, it's going to work. And if he doesn't, matter of fact, I'll read something that's on the other thing that I throw in. If you order the set from me, I throw in the Stonemont notebook. And I want to read a couple of things from the cover of the Stonemont notebook. On the front, it says, right down here, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Now, that's King James. A lot of people, it's hard to understand King James if you haven't studied it. And what that means is commit your work to the Lord and your plans will succeed. Now, it doesn't mean that, Lord, I want, a red Lamborghini and I commit it to you. No, it means pray to the Lord, ask him to guide you. And then when he does guide you, commit it to him and he will be in it. And when God's in it, it doesn't fail. Okay. On the back, there's another scripture, another one of my favorites, Psalm 127:1. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain. That means if God's not in it, it's not going to succeed. Make God the center of your life and your preparedness, and both will work out the way he wants them to, which means perfect. Okay? All right. You all have a great day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.